Hi guys, my name is Evoyia and I am the owner of Inner Beauty Hair. I'm actually based in London, but I'm originally from Jamaica, and I'm just here to tell you some information about virgin and raw hair and HD and brown lace. So we're gonna start with virgin and raw hair first. So basically, I want to speak about some of the pros and cons and kind of why, in terms of raw hair, why this hair is a bit more pricey and also maybe a bit more unpopular than this one. So this is basically, they're both the same length, and this is basically my virgin hair, and this is my raw hair. This is my raw Indonesian hair. And basically, in terms of um the comparisons, I've made some quick notes. So if you see me looking down, that's basically what I'm doing. I'm just checking my notes just so I don't ramble. I do speak a bit fast, so sorry about that. But if you have any comments, just definitely leave your questions below, and yeah, I'll definitely endeavor to get back to you as soon as possible. So in terms of donors, this is basically the basis of how the hair is collected. In terms of raw hair, this is collected from one donor, and this hair is basically single drawn. You do have double drawn. I'll try to insert a picture or do another comparison later on of double drawn and single. I don't have any double drawn in stock right now, but yeah, this is a single drawn bundle. This is also single drawn virgin. Both of these do come in double drawn as well. It just means that basically, in terms of the hair as it is now, this has half of the amount of longer pieces. So if it is double drawn, it will have double the amount of longer pieces. In terms of the ends will be a lot fuller. Same thing for this bundle as well. So yeah, in terms of raw hair, as I said, it's collected from one donor per bundle. In terms of virgin hair, it is multiple donors per bundle. So that means that in terms of the cuticles, I'm going to get to that first. So in terms of cuticles, generally raw hair is cut from the root of the person's hair, put a bundle, like a little rubber band around the hair to keep it in the direction of where it should go, so that basically it will stay from how the hair was growing out of your hair towards the ends. Sometimes with virgin hair, most times with virgin hair, you find that the cuticles are not aligned. You probably hear that word, aligned. Before they used to use the word, I guess Remy used to be very popular. So Remy would basically mean that the cuticles are actually aligned. That is very important in terms of the hair not tangling. Because if your hair, can you imagine if your hair was growing in this direction like it normally would, and you turned it the opposite way round, like that would not be a good situation. That would definitely cause you to have a lot of tangling and a lot of matting. And that's essentially why, in terms of chemicals, which is what we're going to speak about next, processing of these two hairs is very essential. So this hair is steam processed, just water steamed at a high temperature, and this creates this type of curl pattern. Whereas this is steamed processed, but it's also permed. Generally, virgin hair is permed. Sometimes it can be dyed. It can also be put in a bleach bath, different things to basically get the hair to appear very like high luster, very soft. Silicone sometimes is infused into this hair also to make it very soft, very bouncy, and just to basically get the different textures of all these different people's hair to blend. So you'll find that in comparison to touch, you may find that raw hair tends to be a lot coarser than virgin hair. So the next thing I want to speak about is color. Definitely you'll find that most times, as I said, this hair can be dyed. So you find that this is not necessarily always a 1B. It can be a very dark 1B to even sometimes very close to a number 1. Whereas this hair, this is raw Indonesian, so it does tend to come very quite dark in terms of a 1B. They don't tend to have very light like brown tones, but you definitely sometimes have, especially towards those ends, you have like brown tones. That's completely normal because, as I said, this is from one person's hair, so you wouldn't expect every single person to have exactly the same color on their head, because that's not normal. So that's basically the reason why color is very important. In terms of bleaching this hair, or more, I'll speak about the ends first. So in terms of the ends, why you want to pay attention to the ends should be very going in the same direction, but also very smooth. You shouldn't have, and that's the reason why it's important for your ends to be trimmed as well. Even on these bundles, it's very important because you don't want to see a lot of like split ends and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if you can see that, but that's what happens sometimes with virgin hair. You can find so much split ends and just not very healthy ends. And obviously, as this is the oldest part of the hair, it's very important that the ends are very healthy, so that when it's the case where you go into bleaching, which is what I'm going to speak about next, this is both bleaching at home and bleaching at the hair factory. Generally it is safer for you to get your hair bleached by the actual vendor, just because of the fact that they will use a different process than you would at home, so that will basically keep the integrity of the hair. So bleaching at home, if you tend to bleach virgin hair, you find that this hair will bleach very fast, very quickly. This hair bleaches in like 10 minutes, 20, 30 minutes, 40 minutes max. And you will achieve a very blonde result, but at the same time, it can be very brassy sometimes, because if it's been dyed black, it will definitely come out almost like the color of my hair, like a very orangey red type of tone. Whereas when it comes to this hair, this will go to a brown, and a clean brown also, that is easy for you to tone to achieve like a 613 blonde or something like that. In terms of this hair though, it does take a longer time to process, just like your natural hair would. If your hair is virgin and never been processed before, it will take a while for you to achieve a blonde. You most likely will be able to achieve a blonde, but you will be able to do that in different sittings. You won't normally do a blonde the same day, but even if you did a blonde in the same day, you'll definitely achieve a clean blonde, which is like a brown, and then it will lift to a lighter brown, to a light brown, to a blonde, rather than it building from a dark brown, which is its natural color, to like a brassy brown. Sometimes you'll find with this color, you can't really get the full brassiness out because of that reason as well. So yeah, it takes a bit longer, and it doesn't go to a brassy color. But also another good thing about this hair, even though it takes a longer time to process, this hair will most definitely get you a better integrity. So the hair itself will stay intact because the cuticles are there. It protects the hair, so it definitely will stay intact for a longer time, for years to come, versus this hair. This will generally tend to go very brittle, especially towards the ends. You'll find that the ends will break sometimes. You have an increase of shedding, split ends, and those type of things. Finally, what do we talk about next? So in terms of you having different tests, so I normally say for you to test the hair is the only way you're going to be able to tell, because there is a lot of vendors that will mimic raw hair. The shape of the bundles, for instance, is a very big indication. This is generally the typical form of raw hair because it's done folded by hand. This is sometimes folded by a machine, so it does go into a spiral type of formation. So generally, if it's the case where it is human hair, for instance, because sometimes, another thing I missed out, sometimes in virgin hair you can have fibers in there. It's not always all human hair. Sometimes it does come with fibers. And so this is the reason why I say the first test you should do is a burn test. You should pull a few pieces of hair out and literally burn it into a ash. If it's the case where while it's burning, it is a kind of like a clear, like a white smoke, that will indicate most likely that it is human. And it most likely will burn straight through. If it's the case where it is fiber, it will most likely have a darker smoke, and it will probably, that you will see the hair most likely crimpling up as it burns, just as plastic would, basically. And another test is basically the cuticle test. The cuticle test is basically where you wet your two fingers and you run it along the strands of the hair, going in the opposite direction of how the hair would grow. So you'd basically go up the actual shaft of the hair, and that will tell you if it's the case where you can feel those cuticles. If they're still intact, you will feel a slight friction or just like little notches on the hair as you go upwards. If it's a case where it feels super smooth, that means the cuticles have been stripped. So that is reason why sometimes the bleach bath comes into effect. It definitely is a good thing, obviously, if you found cuticles. But even if you found cuticles and they're going in opposite directions, then that's also, as I said, another indication that there may be multiple donors in that hair. Another thing is also in terms of the actual weight of the hair, they generally do come in the same. So most times, more than likely, you get 100 grams per bundle, and that will be for either. You can just simply put that onto your kitchen digital scale and weigh it, and that will be able to give you the results to let you know how much the hair actually weighs. Finally, in terms of the fullness of the hair, I guess it's very easy to tell the ratio of like short hairs anyways, because I know most times you can see it by sight, like you can see that the hair has a lot of short pieces. But a very quick trick that I like to do is to twist the hair around. So if you go like that, literally, you'll be able to see those little sparse bits. If you run your hand along the hair like that, you see them literally come out, where you can see so many frizzy flyaways. And that's generally because they use a lot of short pieces to make this hair up. This bundle is obviously not as bad. It's pretty good for virgin hair, but you will find that if you did the same thing to a raw bundle, you have little to any short pieces on the bundle. And if you run your hand opposite way, you will have some short pieces, but it won't be as many as the actual virgin hair will be, especially towards the end. So yeah, that is basically all the information that I have right now. I think I'll definitely go into this a bit more in the future. And yeah, I'd like you guys, as I said, to leave a comment below, share, like, and subscribe if you like this type of video, and let me know what you've learned, if this has been helpful to you in any way. And definitely follow me on social media also to get some more advice and just basically learn some more information about different types of hair and just the hair industry in general. So my social media handles is innabeautyhair on Instagram and innabeautyhair on Facebook. Thank you guys for watching my video. Have a good day. Take care of yourselves. Be blessed.